Who's going to be taking this free W? Who is going to be taking the easiest W that the UFC has right now in the lightweight division? Rafael Fiziev pulled out of his main event at UFC Rio. Charles Oliveira is undefeated in Brazil, by the way. He's had 6 fights in Brazil. He's 6-0 in Brazil. Charles Oliveira has no dance partner for his UFC Rio main event. Okay, some people are speculating that this is going to be Charles Oliveira retirement fight. I don't see it being a retirement fight. I do see this fight going terribly for Charles Oliveira. He's coming off very quickly after getting starched. I mean, I'm trying to put it politely. After getting starched from Ilia Topuria, I don't really have that much faith in somebody returning so quickly. I feel like he's going to come back with some PTSD. He's not going to really want to get hit. He's not going to want to stand there in these exchanges, and Rafael Fiziev was going to want to stand there in those exchanges. He's good at distance control. He throws these crazy kicks, and he lands often. So I thought Rafael Fiziev had this easy W in the bag, and Rafael Fiziev just pulled out with an unknown injury. Nobody knows what's going on with bro, but he's out indefinitely from Rafael Fiziev. So all speedy recoveries going out to him, but who do you guys think is going to be next? Now look, these are the top 3 #1 contenders, right? We already spoke about this earlier this week, but Arman Tsarukyan, I have said countless times, should not get the next title shot. I do not care that he is ranked 1. I don't care. His last scheduled bout was against Islam Makhachev, and he pulled out 24 hours notice. Now, he has been taking grappling events in the meantime to get himself staying in the athletic mindset, getting ready for war, but that's not comparable to showing up to a UFC event and doing combat. You understand what I'm saying? You're still going to have to get a UFC event under your belt before you're even considered to go fight for the championship. That's just my personal opinion, and I think that's how that goes. Now, Addypimblett's last 3 opponents were on a consecutive 0-13 combined losing streak. An 0-13 combined losing streak from your last 3 opponents. Addypimblett, by the way, could not finish Tony Ferguson. Justin Gaethje, his last 3, he beat up Rafael Fiziev, took that loss from Max Holloway, and pretty sure he knocked out Dustin, or he beat up. I'm pretty sure it's Fiziev, or it's Dustin, Holloway, Fiziev. But he's win-loss 1 in his last 3. He's 2-1 in his last 3. I think that Justin Gaethje has the best argument to fight Ilia Topuria, but that's not what we're talking about here. Charles Oliveira is ranked. He's ranked number 4. He's ranked 4 in the division, boys. Listen, the only people above him are Max Holloway and Arman Tsarukyan. Islam doesn't count. He's gone to welterweight. We're not talking about Islam Makhachev. But anybody down. Now the rumors were that Benoit Saint-Denis was going to take this fight. He said these rumors were not true. He said, hey, I have too much respect for my boy, Charles Oliveira, to take this fight. I will not be fighting Charles Oliveira. We respect Oliveira far too much to take it that way. This kind of fight needs preparation, which is fair. I understand that. Benoit Saint-Denis would have had a back-to-back free W escapade. He's right. If he fought Charles Oliveira and won, he would be right back where he was right before he fought Dustin Poirier, by the way. He's coming off of beating up Marcio Ruffy, where everybody, including me, counted him out because fighting nerd, by the way. But hey, nobody checked his wrestling, and Benoit Saint-Denis went out. But Benoit Saint-Denis is scratched off the list, okay? I mean, brother, you are ranked 13, which is a little all right. Michael Chandler is obviously going to save himself for the White House card. He won't even lift a finger until next year, I promise you that. We will never be seeing Michael Chandler until he gets that Conor McGregor fight, okay? Rafael Fiziev is out, ranked 10, by the way. Beneil Dariush, I just feel like the UFC will never call for an opportunity like this, especially not a main event. Bro is just the only person in lightweight without like a fucking personality or a fan base, in my personal opinion. Hey, if you're a Beneil Dariush fan, please comment down below and let me know, but I don't think so. Marticios Gamrot is honestly my personal pick to take this fight against Charles Oliveira. I want to see Marticios Gamrot get his shot at the top 5 of 155. He's coming off of an absolute... Oh, wow. I thought his last win was against Dan Hooker. My brain is just soup some days. Well, okay, listen. He came off of a unanimous decision against Ludwig Klein, which was... I kind of remember not really that competitive. My boy Marticios Gamrot just walked through him, but Gamrot versus Dan Hooker was a spooky fight. It was a spooky fight. Dan Hooker low key walked through, bro. Dan Hooker. Speaking of Dan Hooker, Dan Hooker's ranked 6. okay? Rank 6, by the way. Already has fought Islam Makhachev, even though he's not the champion right now. But he's coming off of an injury. He injured his foot or his toe or his leg or he injured something. I forgot. But he pulled out against Justin Gaethje. And he's been looking for a fight for a little bit. He's been talking smack with Arman Sarukian. And now my question is, Arman, if you've been doing everything you can to get this Ilia Topuria fight, right? You've offered him hundreds of thousands of dollars. The other day you called him broke. You said, "Listen, Ilia Topuria is really not what he says he is. He's not a baller. I'm a baller. Ilia is broke. He was flying first class on a Spirit flight or whatever he had going on." But Arman, if you're getting ready for all these grappling matches and you want to be the next person to fight Ilia Topuria, why don't you run back your fade with Charles Oliveira? Why not? He already beat you. You guys, your last fight that you actually walked to the octagon for was against Charles Oliveira, and he beat you via split decision. No? 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 Charles Oliveira? Oh no, Charles Oliveira lost that fight. My brain is soup. My brain is soup, bro. Holy. But who do you guys think is going to take this fight against Charles Oliveira? I can't, my brain has been soup all day. I've had a long day today, boys. My daughter's birthday is today, so I've been running around. Yesterday, I didn't stream because I was up all night decorating the house, putting streamers and balloons everywhere, wrapping all of the gifts, and today we just went a little crazy. So, hey, got my chance to break away for a little bit, make a quick video, and I'm honestly curious on who is taking this fight against Charles. I've seen Renato Moicano speak up on Twitter like he's going to take it. Like Renato Moicano's going to take it. That fight against Beneil Dariush was not very impressive. You low-key got stomped on against Beneil Dariush, all right? I don't think they're going to throw you that fight. Maybe they do give Beneil Dariush the chance. And imagine if Dariush goes out there and starches Charles Oliveira. Imagine the fan base Beneil Dariush can get. But please pick Mauricio's Gamrot. Maybe addypimblett. Addypimblett needs a fight too. Dan Hooker's a good option. Justin versus Charles is always a good shot, but Justin's never the guy to take short notice fights. I've noticed they've offered Justin a few short notice fights, and he's always denied them. Always said no to him. So I don't think Justin's going to be the one to take that. But Paddy might. Dan might. Max is coming off of a nice little 5-round cruising speed, Maybe Max Holloway is able to take this. If Max Holloway takes this and wins, he jumps over everybody, and he is now next for Ilia Topuria again. It doesn't matter that Ilia Topuria put him down. It doesn't. If Max takes the Charles fight and puts Charles down, Max would be next for Charles Oliveira. That's a fact. Hey. That's a little crazy to think about, boys. And you got to think, right? Max Holloway, when he fought Ilia Topuria the first time, he is coming back after fighting Justin Gaethje at 155. So we had to remake that cut down to 145, and his body didn't like that. He did look super drained during that fight against Ilia Topuria. And if you rewatch that fight, Max Holloway was up. He was up on significant strikes both rounds. I wouldn't say he was up on rounds, but he was doing a damn good job. He was doing a damn good job until he wasn't. But I think if I had to put money on it, if I had to put money on who is next for Ilia Topuria, man, I honestly don't know, man. I low-key want to say Max Holloway. I low-key want to say I would put the bread on Max Holloway. He's a former featherweight, right? He moved up to lightweight, so maybe the cut isn't that bad for him, right? Justin's out the question. That dude has never taken a short notice fight, ever. Dan Hooker's a good option. Paddy, no. Paddy balloons up to 1 million pounds out of camp. He's not taking that fight. Arman or Max. I think that is the easiest thing, but what does Arman get for beating Charles again? For beating Ilia's leftovers? I mean, at least you get that time clocked in. All right, you made it to work. Congratulations. Now you are in talks to fight Ilia Topuria. But I'm hoping Mauricio's Gamrot. I'm really hoping Mauricio's Gamrot, man. Such a unappreciated fighter at 155, man. Seriously. I'm about to go rewatch Mauricio's Gamrot versus Dan Hooker. Why did my camera just freeze like that? That was weird. But I'm going to go watch Mauricio's Gamrot versus Dan Hooker after this video, boys. Absolutely. But Comment down below who you guys think is going to be fighting Charles Oliveira next. Honestly, if I had to put my bread on it, I would say Arman Tsarukyan. He is the only person in shape. He just fought. So maybe not, because it would be a second weight cut. I'm gonna go Max Holloway and Marticel's Gamrot. Arman's never taken another fight, but I don't think Arman hasn't been in the octagon in over 500 days. By the way, keep that in mind. Keep that up top in the noggin. All right, boys. Look, I'll catch you guys later. Comment down below who you guys think is gonna be fighting Charles Oliveira next, and make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. All right, boys. You rock out of here.